Mary Butts. An introduction. Mary Frances Butts was born on 13th of December 1890 in Poole, Dorset. Her early years were spent at Salterns, an 18th century house overlooking Poole Harbour. Sadly, in 1905, her father died, and she was sent for boarding at St Leonard School for Girls in St Andrews. Her mother remarried, and from 1909 Mary studied at Westfield College in London, and here first became aware of her bisexual feelings. She was sent down for organising a trip to Epsom races, and only completed her degree in 1914 when she graduated from the London School of Economics. By then Mary had become an admirer of the occultist, Aleister Crowley, and she was given a co-authorship credit on his Magick, Book 4. In 1916 she began the diary which would now detail her future life and be a constant reference point for her observations and her absorbing experiences. During World War I, she was doing social work for the London County Council in Hackney Wick and involved in a lesbian relationship. Life changed after meeting the Modernist poet John Rodker, and they married in 1918. In 1921, she spent 3 months at Aleister Crowley's Abbey of Thelema in Sicily. She found the practices dreadful and also acquired a drug habit. Mary now spent time writing in Dorset, including her celebrated book of short stories, Speed the Plough, which saw fully develop her unique modernist prose style. Europe now beckoned, and several years were spent in Paris befriending many artists and writing further extraordinary stories. She was continually sought after by literary magazines and also published several short story collections as books. Although a modernist writer, she worked in other genres, but is essentially only known for her short stories. Mary was deeply committed to nature conservation and wrote several pamphlets attacking the growing pollution of the countryside. In 1927 she divorced, and the following year her novel, Armed with Madness, was published. A further marriage followed in 1930, and time was spent attempting to settle in London and Newcastle before setting up home on the western tip of Cornwall. By 1934 the marriage had failed. Mary Butts died on the 5th of March 1937 at the West Cornwall Hospital, Penzance, after an operation for a perforated gastric ulcer. She was 46. Her story, In Bayswater, grippingly describes a man's friendship with a dysfunctional family he rents a room from. As each facet reveals itself, his opinion and decisions change, back and forth, this way and that.
In Bayswater, by Mary Butts. Some passages in the life of an only son. He found the road behind Westbourne Grove, where there was the cream and laurel green cottage where he wanted to live. He had heard that it was to let, and was persuaded that it would be cheap because of the neighbourhood, because there was no tube, because of the Portobello Road. A woman made of dirt-stiffened rag was its caretaker. She told him a fantastic rent. He had begun to live in the cottage years before. In that last resort he liked to wound himself, observing his own piteousness. He crossed the ivory boards in his muddy shoes. There was clear yellow paint inside, and a round window over the porch, set in deep wood. He put his elbows in it, and listened to the wind in the poplars, and thought that he was in an old resting ship. If 4 shared it, it might be possible. He had not 4 on whom he could rely. A clean laurel grew in the backyard. He picked a yellow leaf and wrote on it, and put it inside his shirt. The great window at the back was made in small panes. He wished he had a diamond in a ring to cut his longing on it. The kitchen was flagged. The larder had a marble shelf for cooling, and in summer
Sample complete. Ready to continue?